Hey there! If you're new to this channel or you're unfamiliar with Geometry Dash, I'm Stormfly, or Stormy as some call me. I play the game Geometry Dash on a regular basis, and this game is pretty much like the Impossible game, a cube jumping over spikes trying to make it to the end. The difference with this game is that it expands the methods of doing this and that you can create your own levels and upload them for other players to try. There are 7 different types of difficulty rankings in this game: Auto, Easy, Normal, Hard, Harder, Insane, and Demon. The Demon rating is expanded even further by ranking the difficulty of the Demon, going from Easy, Medium, Hard, Insane, and finally Extreme. The Extreme Demon is by far the most popular ranking and represents some of the hardest levels in this game. The topic of this video will be covering what the hardest demons in the game have been over the past 8.5 years this game has existed. To ensure that this video remains as unbiased as possible, I must bring forth some disclaimers, but in a much more extensive list. This list is based off levels that were considered the hardest demon at the time. Therefore, some placements on this list are intentionally wrong, since difficulty has been interpreted differently over the years. In short, this means I will not mention levels that would have been top 1 if listed by today's standards. In order for a level to be eligible for this list, it has to have at any point been at least rated by RobTop, even if only for a very short period of time. In some cases, some levels will have lost and regained their hardest demon rank, but this list will not consider that. If the level has appeared once in the video, it will not appear again. For some of these levels, there are secret ways that allow you to skip majority of the level, and this list will not consider that and still rank their difficulty based on the beliefs at the time. And lastly, I will not count levels that were hack updated after they received their demon rating. If they were however hacked from the start and RobTop decided to rate the levels anyway, it counts for this list. And with those disclaimers, there have been a new addition made to this list compared to 2019, called Extra, nicknamed EX. The EX parameter represents additional levels that would have been top 1 demons if not for unique situations, which will be explained what that case is for each level in the video. With that said, let's begin showcasing every hardest demon we've had over these years. Here we have the first demon to ever exist in this game, Demon Park, created by MidM2 Call on 17th of October 2013. It wasn't originally rated until 22nd of November 2013, since by the time this level was originally uploaded, the demon rating didn't exist yet. When RobTop found out about the existence of this level and how massively difficult it was, a new difficulty rating was created called Demon, based off the level's name. 5 demons were rated at the same time on the 22nd of November 2013, 1 AM in Central European time, with Demon Park being the very first. It set a new standard for difficulty, one of which was challenged time and time again over the upcoming years. The next hardest demons to be made was a level beautiful for its time, and was among the batch of the first 5 demons that were rated on the 22nd of November 2013, published by the well-known creator Darnok. This level was uploaded on either the 19th or 20th of October 2013, and has unfortunately since then always remained in the dislike ratio. Excluding Demon Park, a lot of the hardest levels to be made at the time would receive hate and dislikes from the community. Back then, high difficulty was seen as a negative, and if players could not do something in levels easily, they would dislike the level. This mentality wouldn't disappear until over a year later, where the quality of some of these levels would be more appreciated. Here is yet another demon among the batch of first 5 demons that were rated, this one being the game's first introduction of a very difficult memory level, so much so that it became the new hardest demon. This level was originally uploaded sometime between the 19th and 22nd of November 2013 by the well-regarded Korean creator Ripples, or Rabbitical, as his username is today in-game. Unlike the last video on this topic, here's a new addition that was not included called Demon World, uploaded on the 24th of November 2013, created by Super Hexagon. At one point, this was the only demon left in the game to be beaten by any player, where one of the old top 1 star grinders, Piss MC, claimed to have beaten every rated level except Demon World. This is the first top demon to introduce some genuinely tough ship sections, including small straight-fly sections. Outside of that, the level takes heavy influence from other demons before, such as the Nightmare and Demon Park, and makes the new hardest demon for its time. Coming up next is the first extra top 1 demon on this list, alongside the impressive feat of being the first level on this list to have lost its demon rating after a period of time. BP Night was created by a Korean creator by the name Raw7, uploaded on 24th of November 2013, the exact same day as Demon World, with their IDs only being 18 numbers away. This was one of the first rated levels to push the ball game into extreme difficulty for its time, so much so that it would take the hardest demon rank. But as mentioned, this level lost its demon rating, and it did this on the 9th of January 2014. In this instance, the reason for that was a secret way found in the first half of the level, leading to its unrated. This is supposedly one of, if not the first rated level to have a secret way. The reason this level has become an EX on this list is because it is unknown whether or not this or Demon World was rated first. Demon World overall is more difficult than BP Night, and BP Night did come out after Demon World, but it is unsure which one was rated first. As a result, BP Night remains on this list as the first extra top 1 demon. Now begins the first top demon that can be considered an extreme demon even today, and it is the introduction to the Hell series. The first iteration of the series, the Hal Zone, was created by Son0924 and uploaded on the 8th of January 2014, although it was not originally rated when released. RobTop deemed the level to be too annoying for players to deal with, mainly because of the very first jump being way too hard. RobTop stated that he would check the level for possibility of raid if he nerfed the level a bit. As such, Son0924 literally only nerfed the first jump, and apparently that was enough for RobTop as it got rated shortly after. This level and its upcoming sequels would remain rated until May 2014, where Son0924 was exposed for exploiting the practice mode glitch in the 1.2 update. The second Hal level in Son0924's The Hal series was uploaded only 4 days after the Hal Zone on the 12th of January 2014. This Hal level was the first Hal level that would begin the trend of one part in the level being a massive difficulty spike, in the Hell World's instance the ship at 67%. The description of this level reads thanks to Zeri, which thanks Sari, one of the most popular star grinders at the time, for giving the first iteration, the Hal Zone, a lot of publicity, which is what led to this series becoming as popular as it did. The third level in this series, the Hell Dignity, released on the 22nd of January 2014, would prove to not be harder than the Hell World when rated. The final Hell level that Son0924 would release had a different story to tell though. The next top demon, Heaven and Hell, was the first level to be deemed truly impossible by the community. It was uploaded on the 24th of January 2014 by the creator Roadbows, who has made multiple ridiculously hard levels in his time. In Heaven and Hell's case, the drop has some obscurely difficult orb spam sections that to this day are still barely doable with the current playing skill. Despite this, the level managed to get a raid from RobTop a few days after its release. This level lost its difficulty reputation, however, when players found out there's a secret way right before the near impossible part. Therefore, it lost its reputation as the hardest demon and was ignored by the community. Strangely enough though, despite its secret way, the level was not unrated until over a year later, right around when Cataclysm was released, which we'll talk about later. The fourth and final Hell level in the original The Hell series was uploaded on the 31st of January 2014 by, once again, Son0924. It was easily the hardest level of them all, and it introduced some of the toughest ship, cube, and boss sections that had ever been seen at that point. Unlike the Hal Zone and the Hell World though, the prequel The Hell Dignity and Origin did take some time to get rated despite Son0924 emailing Rob to rate them. After a week or two, Rubtop finally complied but ended up giving Sun094 a lecture about gameplay and how timings like these can be seen as unfair to new players, and made an example of levels from Darnok on how to make fun levels. Whether or not Sun094 actually listened to this advice is unknown, but he was exposed for abusing the practice mode exploit from 1.2 on the 26th of April 2014. On the first half of May 2014, a Korean player requested the Hell series to be unrated for exploit, and every single Hell level in the series was unrated. Next up we have Stereo Demonness by Majako, which is the second hardest level that this creator ever made. On the 22nd of February 2014, this level was uploaded using Speedhack, and despite the absurd difficulty, Rubtop rated the level and it took the #1 spot instantly. This level introduced the hardest ship parts seen in a rated level at the time, and to this day, some sections are near impossible to pull off. There were only 2 levels that were to rival this level's difficulty until it was nerfed in November 2014, where Majako took Stereo Demonness and made it more playable as he was growing tired of making difficult levels. These 2 levels that came to take Stereo Demonness' top spot showed up in the same month and only a week apart from one another. The next top demon is Silent Club, which at the time was one of the most infamous levels in the game. This level was made by a creator named Black P2S Full, and made the first ever silent level. Funnily enough, Silent Club was uploaded on the 1st of April 2014, suggesting this level was an incredibly elaborate April Fool's joke. Much like the upcoming top demon, it also has a difference in decoration style at the midpoint of the level. The first half was decorated using the updated 1.5's features, and the second half with 1.6's features, which might have motivated Rubtop to want to rate this level to begin with. It is assumed that Silent Club was verified using speedhacking, since there is supposedly a secret way above the level using the blue orb glitch, but it has only worked in the 2.0 update. Much like Heaven and Hell, this level was also rated for well over a year, but it is uncertain when this level was specifically unrated. It is confirmed to have been rated still in March 2015, but it is also confirmed to have been unrated in April 2015, hence Silent Club's top demon reign came to an end. Today, it is back on the hardest demon lists, re-verified properly in 2020, but it would not gain its top spot back ever again. For anyone who is a common viewer of my channel will immediately know this level. Elements 111RG was a top demon released on the 7th of April 2014 by the creator Dark X. This mysterious level was only rated for an estimate of 5 to 6 days and unrated again on the 15th of April 2014 for a secret way placed at the start of the level. Before that was found, however, players taking the main path put it above Silent Club and Stereo Demonness in difficulty, and they were 100% correct in doing so. And unfortunately, the true difficulty of this level can only be speculated. After the level was unrated, the level remained uploaded on the servers until around June to August 2014, where it was deleted for unknown reasons. The level has since then been lost forever, with no existing copy of the level posted online anywhere, and with no images or videos of the level being played either. An approximate total of 23% of the real level has been properly restored, knowing it existed in the real version, and everything else is speculative based off other players' memory. In the making of this video, it is also the only top demon that is yet to be beaten by any player without the secret way. Unless the real level is found, or more restorable gameplay is found, it will most likely stay that way, as what has been found already makes it incredibly difficult. Here we have the first instance of a top demon that was never truly a top demon. But remember, this is based off beliefs at the time, not what we believe today. Carbon Diablo X is another level by the creator Erebus, and this is for sure the best level he has released. This level was uploaded on the 20th of May 2014 and was the third official installment in Erebus' Ice Carbon series, with Ice Carbon Zust and Ice Carbon Chaos being prequels. This level was featured alongside two other Erebus demons named Super of Everything and Extreme Superworld, which when rated were all met with insane backlash and dislikes due to how at the time these levels were pretty much impossible. In today's era of the game, it has established itself as a stepping stone for difficult achievements and a well-regarded level. The next top demon wouldn't show up over 7 months later, where during the 1.7 to 1.8 update of the community, they were not interested in making hard levels anymore. But on the 3rd of January 2015, the creator J-Boy would revolutionize the community and bring the attention to the hardest demons back once more with Cataclysm. Upon release, this was deemed impossible, while also being groundbreakingly beautiful with an incredible song backing it up. While levels before Cataclysm were of course harder, such as Silent Club and Element 111RG, the lack of raids and a relevant creator pushed the older top demons out of relevancy and made them fade into obscurity. As this video will eventually demonstrate, Cataclysm would become a huge inspiration source for future levels that would aim to accomplish the same hype that Cataclysm managed to acquire. Next top demon is one that probably doesn't look very difficult at all, but this was released when majority of players were still really bad at the wave game mode. As such, it was deemed incredibly difficult for the time, so much so it was harder than Cataclysm. Future Demonness was released on the 7th of July 2015 by the creator Majako, who made one of the top demons previously. It follows a very similar story to Stereo Demonness, where the unnerved version took the top demon spot and would maintain it until Majako nerfed the level for more accessible playability. It is unknown when specifically Majako nerfed this level, but it is confirmed it was nerfed already in August 2015, meaning the unnerved version was only uploaded for barely a month. This unnerved version would not be beaten until October 2016 by Atomic. Here we have Sonic Wave, the most infamous level that follows the so-called 9-circle level trend. This level had 2 different versions made before it received its first rating. The first version was uploaded by Cyclic on the 21st of June 2015. However, the first version of this level never received a rate from RubTub thanks to the lack of a verification video, proving that it was actually possible. Cyclic claimed to have managed to beat the level off recording and made a cut video as compensation, but this wasn't enough for RubTub. With the level not being poorly received, Cyclic felt compelled to create an updated version with better visuals and went ahead to buff the level while at it. Before the revamping would begin, Cyclic created a poll on Korean forums where he asked users what color scheme this level would be updated to. 5 different colors were presented as choices, where the general color scheme for the level were either to be black, dark blue, navy blue, yellow/green combo, or orange. The winning color was dark blue, and while slightly altered once again, it was to become the color of the new version. This version was however speed hyped by Cyclic, but at the time, he got away with it. It was uploaded once again on 20th of July 2015, and was rated pretty quickly, allowing it to gain the top spot. While Cyclic wasn't immediately exposed for speed hacking, Cyclic got once again tired of the level's reception, and the level was through very convoluted methods unrated on the 7th of August 2015. The date for this level's unrate is incredibly important when talking about the next top demon, which will be demonstrated next. For some of you, this level might be a surprise to see up here, but yeah, it turns out that this level technically was a top demon for a 5-day period. The unnerved version of Fexty was rated on the 3rd of August 2015, uploaded by the creator of Spectro, who at the time hacked his original uploads. Despite this, the first levels of his were rated almost immediately every time. This level was deemed this hard because of one infamous section, the 3x speed wave part, which when released at the time, was near impossible for any player to do. When Sonic Wave was unrated on the 7th of August 2015, there was no other level that was harder than it. The next top demon had not been verified yet, but because this level was never truly given the privilege of being called a top demon, this is the next extra top demon. Coming up next is easily one of the most well-known top demons of all time, Bloodbath. It is one of the first levels heavily inspired by Cataclysm, with G-Boy and other well-regarded creators involved in this project. The level was verified on the 12th of August 2015 by Riot, and it will become one of the longest running hardest demons to remain in that spot. When Bloodbath was released, it revolutionized and shaped the difficulty for extreme demons into what they have become today. Bloodbath's top spot will be threatened pretty quickly though, before it remained at a top spot for an extensive period of time. 2 levels will be released in late 2015 and threatened to take the top spot, which were obliterated upon release. Bloodbath began the trend of actively making sure any new hardest demon was legitimately beaten, so the idea of hacked top 1s showing up on the demon lists now were fading away, as the next top demon will demonstrate. Yet another EX level coming up next, this one being called Theory of Darkness. Unironically, there are over 20 different versions of this level, but the one that was actually rated was uploaded on the 13th of November 2015 by Koopy, supposedly verified by Demonness, or Severance D as his name is today. It was rated 4 days later, and since its difficulty was for sure above Bloodbath, it got immediately attacked for legitimacy concerns. Big player names like Riot, Heinz, Michigan, Auroras, Synthic Alpha, Robbuck, Abstract Dark, Weo, and many others all commented about its questionable legitimacy with varying levels of aggression. The next day after its raid, Koopy did state that the level was to be nerfed and updated, and only an hour after the statement, the level was updated, but supposedly by a separate upload, oddly enough. Koopy then requested the currently rated version to be unrated and rate the newly uploaded version. On the 20th of November 2015, the level was unrated as requested, but it was never re-rated, presumably since the level wasn't beaten legitimately again. As a result, the level was deleted from Koopy's account with only an uploaded copyable remaining. Fast forward 6 years later, me re-verified this level on the 26th of May 2021 and has now been uploaded once more on Koopy's account. Next up is the unnerved version of Phobos. Before the well-regarded player Kremal would become known for verifying a nerfed version of this level, for a short amount of time the unnerved version of Phobos was featured and took the hardest demon spot on the demon list, although very briefly, since the demon list as usual was biased. The uploader of the unnerved version was named Tigrusek, who has a part in this level personally. This version was uploaded 25th of November 2015. Much like Theory of Darkness, however, Riot himself and a team of players took it upon themselves to search for levels with questionable legitimacy. Alas, much like Fexty and Theory of Darkness, they were unrated for not being rated legitimately, and Unnerved Phobos was no exception. Approximately on the 29th of November 2015, the level was changed into a tiny level with an apology message. Swiftly after, the level was unrated and would not see the light of day until Kremal re-verified the level on the 12th of May 2016. It was the nerd version of the level that Tigrusek initially updated the level into, and as such, it did not receive the top demon spot again.
Step forth and be recognized.
Here we have a top demon with a rather unique backstory. Sakupan Hell was originally uploaded on the 8th of June 2015 by the creator Anubis, who openly hacked the level. Because of the situation of Cataclysm, where G-Boy hacked the level in order to release it, and the level got rated anyway, Anubis felt that it was within his rights to be allowed to do the same thing, make a stupidly hard level and hack upload it to try and get it rated. Whether you believe that was a good idea or that his ideology worked out for him in the end, I'll leave that for you to decide. But it definitely paints a picture when RobTop, the developer of the game, disliked the idea of this level so heavily that we removed the level off the servers personally. But before then, Sakupan Hell would be getting 2 official versions before its removal. The first version had the very first wave part be much tighter and near frame perfect, so getting past the beginning back in 2015 was practically impossible. The second version nerfed this section to how it is in the currently rated version, but then added one of the most infamous duels of all time at the end. A spam-oriented mini-wave duel at 3 times speed, where players only in recent time have managed to beat this section by complete luck. A player named Trusta would attempt to verify sakupan properly, and did so by combining the easiest sections of both versions. On the 14th of August 2016, the level will be verified legitimately and rated, which would finally bring Bloodbath down from its top spot that it had held for over a year. This top demon, Athanatos, is one of the more recent levels that remained rated after supposedly have been verified with hacks. The level was published on Xenity's account on the 5th of November 2016 and was featured fairly quickly. The player who supposedly verified the level was Aurora's, and there was a verification video available. However, the video had red flags all over it. The audio was completely off sync, the gameplay parts was played in very stupid ways, and it wasn't properly verified as it had user coins that weren't grabbed. As a result, he fell under the radar of being a hacker pretty much instantly. Surprisingly, none of this mattered, and the level would remain rated and take the top spot. By the time this next top demon was released, Sonic Wave had been re-verified and placed on the demon list once more, but despite that, Artificial Ascent was for a brief time put above Sonic Wave and given the top spot. Artificial Ascent, according to the original host of the level, Anubis, was meant to initially be a remake of G-Boys' Cataclysm. The first gameplay parts were initially inspired by Cataclysm, the song was different, the theme was oriented around abandoned machinery coming to life, and it was not a mega collab initially. But because of his save data being corrupt, the original version and approach was lost and only the level name survived. Artificial Ascent. The Ascension of the Artificial. As a result, a replacement song was used from Dim Rain, and the level turned into a mega collab. But eventually, due to the increasing inactivity on Anubis' behalf, Anubis requested the very well-regarded creator Viperin to be a co-host for the level, and quoting Anubis, the level would have never been finished and released without him. With the level finally finished, the level was verified on the 11th of December 2016 by the player combined, and it became one of the most well-regarded extreme demons in the game. It is unknown when the level lost its top spot, but it is known that it lost its top spot to Sonic Wave once again. Here we have the final top demon in the 2.0 update that was released, and the true sequel to Bloodbath, Yatsukorosu. Very similarly to Bloodbath, Yatsukorosu had huge excitement for its release, considering it was to become the new hardest demon played by the Bloodbath verifier Riot. Unlike that level though, Yatsukorosu did not go quite according to plan, as there were a lot of different changes during its development cycle. There were many different versions of the level with many different scrapped parts involved, such parts from creators like Cyclic, Manix, Anubis, Weo, and while some of these creators still remain in the level, some of their parts were either scrapped or cut. Not only that, but Riot dropped as a verifier for Yatsukorosu due to boredom and having severely injured his hand. The level was then passed on to another verifier named Serb. Serb managed to get some impressive progress at the time, such as getting a 33% run, but he began hating the level and eventually passed the level on to yet another verifier when he quit, Trusta, who previously verified Sakupan Hell. Trusta ended up becoming the official verifier for the level on a rather ironic date, Friday the 13th of January 2017. Next up is a level barely a minute long, but despite its short length, especially compared to Yatsukorosu, which was 3 minutes long, it took the #1 spot instantly on release. The packed difficulty of Erebus was so rough that it was deemed harder than Yatsukorosu. The gameplay of this level was haphazardly created by ILRel in the span of 3 days, and its decoration was then made by Rustum. The verifier of this level was Boldstep, and he successfully released the level on the 19th of March 2017, being the first top demon in the 2.1 update. Sometime later, it was revealed that there is an unnerved version of Erebus, which was near impossible, which can comment on how insane the level could have been on release. The version that was released would not stay in the top spot for long though, as Yatsukorosu would reclaim it once again. But not for long. Out of all the top demons in the 2.1 update, this level was on the top spot for the least amount of time. It was on its top spot for 4 days and never got back up there. Stanley Redux is, as the name implies, a Redux version of the popular 1.9 update demon Stalemate by Nox. Stanley Redux was made by 2 creators named The Tactic and The Frozen Tide, and it attempts to recap on the success the original Stalemate managed to receive, and considering it became the next hardest demon in the game, it can be deemed successful in doing so. Stanley Redux was verified by Cephal on the 8th of September 2017, and as previously mentioned, would only hold the top spot for a 4-day period. Nevertheless, it gained the privilege of the rank either way, hence it is a former top demon. Next up, we have the sequel to Artificial Ascent, Digital Descent, and this level was also placed as top demon on the list for a small period of time, but only the unbuffed version. Much like Artificial Ascent, the sequel was verified by the player combined on the 10th of September 2017, and with this being a project hosted by Viprint, it got rated instantly. However, other top players at the time who managed to beat this level stated it was overrated, which brought the level down from its top spot pretty quickly. Combined was determined to have it remain as a top demon, however, so as soon as it was not top demon anymore, Combined went ahead and buffed Digital Descent, which was verified once more a few weeks later. Top players rebeat this buff version and once again claimed it did not belong in the top spot. As such, that marked the end of Digital Descent's top demon reign. The final level in the Plasma Pulse series, created by two well-regarded players named Smokes and Geron, became a top demon on release. The structure for these levels was fairly simple, where they took half of the levels each, made gameplay and decoration for their sections, and put them together. They followed a similar principle for when verifying the levels too, where Geron verified the first two levels in the series, and Smokes verified the last two. The two verifications from Smokes both cracked the top 10 spots, with the finale taking the very top. Plasma Pulse finale was verified on the 29th of October 2017, and upon some previous recent entries to the list of hardest demons, it received praise for its decoration quality. It would also end up being part of a controversy regarding the difficulty and whether or not it was easier or harder than the next top demon that was to be released. In the end, the upcoming top demon will be victorious in being harder, which shall be talked about next. Here we have one of the most popular extreme demons to ever be released in this era of the game, called Bloodlust. This level has been around ever since Manix made the first preview of its decoration on the 28th of March 2016, back when Bloodbath was still a top hardest demon. But the level would not be verified until 2 years after the first preview. During this time, the level only had 2 different verifiers, Quasar and Novel Boy. Quasar was responsible for some of the new gameplay, replacing some of Bloodbath's parts, and was well integrated with how the level came to be. But Quasar would end up not being the verifier for the level in the end, as he dropped it due to severe stress caused from college. The verifier for Bloodlust ended up being Novel Boy, who broke multiple records in the verification process. It was the first verification that took over 100,000 attempts, took more than 2 years to be verified, and the level itself introduced the first ever approach to over-decoration of this kind. 2 immediate reasons for why it took so long to verify was the revamping of parts and the pressure of keeping it as the hardest demon. It was verified on the 20th of February 2018, and it was epic featured instantly upon release. It would break the record for holding a top demon spot from Bloodbath, being a top demon for 12 months and 15 days until it would finally be dethroned by the next true top demon. But before talking about that level, there's one extra top demon that needs to be mentioned. Coming up, as mentioned, is the next EX top demon. This level is called Crimson Planet, and technically never was a top demon except under a very specific circumstance. This level was rated long after its verification. The player Wuxi verified this level on the 18th of May 2018, but it was not rated until 9th of May 2019, which is 5 months after the next top demon showed up, meaning it never truly gained the privilege. However, the next top demon was hacked, and at the time, the demon list had rules regarding hacked levels not being allowed up there at all. As such, Crimson Planet was placed as a top demon in the meanwhile until that rule was removed. While Crimson Planet technically wasn't a top demon rating-wise, since this entire list is based off beliefs and circumstances at the time, Crimson Planet at least deserves the title of Extra Top Demon. But this was the only time this level got any recognition as such. The top demon to actually dethrone Bloodlust was released on the 28th of January 2019, named Zodiac. This level began as a hosting project by Rico LP, who has done some big verifications and achievements in his time. It is unknown when the project began being hosted, but it is assumed to have been started between April to June 2017. The level would switch between 3 different hosts as the level creation process was treated very casually. Rico LP ended up leaving the mega collab as many different creators were dropping their parts, hence he lost motivation to continue. The host was then changed to Leo Creator X, who made the second last part in the level. Much like Rico LP, this host lost motivation to finish the collab, and it resulted in the final host, Bionox, stepping in, and because he did not want to let Zodiac die. In terms of parts being finished, Bionox got the least parts done while hosting, but took care of the merging of parts and bug fixes. In terms of verifiers, the level passed among a few different players, such as N-Level and Benji8080, but none of them were to become the official verifier for the level. This level was supposedly verified by a player named Xander. but eventually confessed a few months later on the 11th of June 2019 to speed hacking the level. As a result, with the rule of hacked levels not being allowed on the demon list, Zodiac was temporarily removed off its top spot, allowing Crimson Planet the privilege of the top spot. By this point though, another top player named Technical had already beaten the level at the time, which served as the proof it was possible to beat in the community. As such, the level remained rated and was eventually placed back on the demon list with the removal of the aforementioned rule. This level would remain on the spot for almost an entire year before the next top demon would show up, which would jump back a few updates. Where Stanley Redux was a remaster of an old 1.9 level, here we have the second top demon remake of an old 1.9 level after Bloodlust, named Tartarus. The original level was very stupidly called Silent Akbar, which was initially made by Riot collabing with Cyclic and Aurorus to top the difficulty of Ice Carbon Diablo X, which at the time was the top hardest demon. The original version of this level did not gain a lot of attraction since, as many other top hardest levels before it, it was borderline impossible and not doable for even top players. Because of this, the project died since it was way beyond anyone's playing skill at the time, so Riot moved on from the level and went on to verify Bloodbath sometime later. Silent Akbar would once again see the light of day though in January 2017, where 2.1 update was released. In secret, Riot would be ensuring that the entire level was rebranded and redone, so that it wasn't completely impossible anymore. And so, on the 26th of January 2018, Riot would announce the release of the Silent Akbar remake Tartarus. Unlike any levels before its time, the level was turned into an open verification. The level was hack uploaded on Riot's account, and anyone could attempt to beat the level, but they were not allowed to nerf anything. It had to be kept in the original difficulty. Mulsi would get 97% and Dolphy would get 98% as their worst depths in the level. But in the end, Dolphy ended up verifying the level first on the 6th of January 2020, eventually taking the top demon spot. Tartarus would go on to become the longest running top demon in this game's history, spending over approximately 17 months and 14 days as a top demon. There would be another top demon that would temporarily interrupt its reign though. The next top demon would only briefly take the top spot from Tartarus, and this level is called the Golden. Unlike a lot of the recently mentioned top demons, the creator Bo wasn't really known previously. His levels VSC and the Golden was what got his name out in the community, and both levels were deemed top 1s. VSC in terms of challenges, and the Golden in terms of levels. The Golden was verified on the 18th of April 2020 by the player nswish, and while the verifier did not deem the level to be a top 1 in its release state, the demon list ended up placing it there regardless. It would remain in that spot for a period of 4 months, but eventually dethroned, giving Tartarus the top spot back. Pretty much every player that beat the Golden stated that it was overrated, so moving the level down was a no-brainer. With the longest top demon reign coming from Tartarus, the community would do everything they could to get the level dethroned, and it wouldn't be until late October 2021 where this finally happened, although in a rather unique situation. Here we have a supposed top demon that I was very hesitant to put on this list, mainly because the only motive for putting this level on this list was based off discrepancies. This level is called Firework and is created by a Russian mega collab team named Cherry Team, hosted by Vernon. It was verified by the player Trick on the 30th of October 2021, and it took him almost an entire year to verify the level non-stop, beginning the project back in November/December 2020. During its verification process, it had built up hype for becoming the next top hardest demon, which many expected to happen upon being verified. However, this level and two others ended up being part of a very unique situation. Firework, another level called Arcturus, and the next actual top demon ended up being rated at pretty much the exact same time, where the original intention was to rate all three levels at once. Realistically, one of the levels was harder than Firework, but the main discrepancy that gives motive to put Firework as a top demon was that according to a bot, it was rated first
For 12 seconds.
before any of the other levels. While this doesn't really mean anything, players have motivated this as a reason for it being a top demon, which hypothetically speaking, maybe, but I'm only listing it as an EX top demon. If people are confused about this decision, let me know your opinion in the comments and I won't read them. The actual top demon to dethrone Tartarus was a level called Slaughterhouse, published by Icecape. The level was verified on the 24th of October 2021 by a player named Space UK, and its difficulty was unlike anything that had been seen before. The difficulty spike was so immense that even to the best players it almost felt impossible. The inspiration for making Slaughterhouse comes from yet another level called Slaughterhouse by the same creator, and how he despised the original's existence. That old version of Slaughterhouse became a stepping stone for what was to become one of the biggest trends in Geometry Dash, the 2.0 impossible level trend. The creator Icecape wanted to change this and made a more unique level in comparison. There were 3 different versions of this updated Slaughterhouse, and they were all practically different from one another. One of them still had the Stalemate song, one of them was an entirely new level, and the version everyone got to know is what was released. The level was placed on the demon list on the 4th of November 2021 and remained there for just over 2 months. And at the end of 2021, the list will be seeing another top demon, which ironically was from the 2.0 update. Next up, we have a ride at Sakupan Circles by Nick24. Funnily enough, this level is now over 6 years old and was part of that incredibly popular trend at the time, which was creating impossible levels with invisible auto showcases. The level, according to Nick, estimated was uploaded around August 2015, originally with a secret way hidden to verify it. The main factor that separated this level from the other impossible levels was that even back in 2015, it appeared as the only ideal level from the 2.0 impossible levels trend to try and beat, since it wasn't as crazy as the others. The first legitimate player to officially attempt to beat the level was a player named Cursed, who on the 27th of December 2020 managed to beat 66 to 100% on Sakupan Circles, and it only evolved from there. But despite this great progress, he would become the first victor of Sakupan Circles after the verifier, Diamond. On the 30th of December 2021, Diamond would verify Sakupan Circles with small nerfs, with over 220,000 attempts, and upon its rating would immediately be placed as a top 1. It has since then been pushed down by Slaughterhouse, however, on the 17th of March 2022, and Slaughterhouse once more was deemed as the hardest demon in the game. Next hardest demon would be called Abyss of Darkness and had a rather complicated verification process. This level was allegedly verified all the way back in 27th of October 2018 by Exon, but it came out that the verification he provided was hacked. Since this level was way harder than anything that had been beaten at the time, this level was very quickly forgotten after Exon released the level. It wouldn't be until July 2020 where a player by the name of Dils Thick would be noticed for his progress on the level, getting 98% on the 20th of July 2021. This player would eventually stop trying to beat the level a month later due to personal issues, and this is what would kickstart a trend of multiple players attempting to beat the level. It was such a growing trend that Exon, who originally created the level, decided to redecorate the level to fit the new standards in 2021. Since then, the level was made publicly available for anyone to try and verify. This level was eventually verified by Cursed on the 3rd of April 2022, and Abyss of Darkness ended up at the top spot. The next top demon that were to be made shares a similar story to Sakupan Circles, where the level itself is over 6 years old. Silent Clubstep is an old impossible level created by Salient, who has a number of well-known impossible levels made in his time. While there have been many other impossible levels since then that have risen to be more popular than this level, Silent Clubstep was the catalyst for the entire impossible level trend rising into what it has become today. This level was so infamous that sections of the level were given specific names, such as the Asymmetric Duel, 8 Jumps of Hell, and the Impossible Maze. Ever since the level's original release in 2015, the everlasting question has remained, is it possible to beat Silent Clubstep? Initially, it was practically impossible due to multiple sections not being set up ideally, but in the 2.1 update, the level was updated, and now it is physically possible. Now, the thing is that I have no idea who actually verified this level. This section of the video is edited before the level was verified, and this is simply me predicting what the next top demon would be. There is a remake of this level that might have been verified by now, and what I'm showcasing here is its low detail mode. My bet is that Vision verified this level finally, which is quite a marvelous achievement. If you're watching this section of the video, then Silent Clubstep was placed as a top 1.